We're just going to give it a few more seconds. All right, here we go. Welcome everyone to today's meeting. Today's October 23rd, and I call the meeting to order at 9 a.m. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you guys for joining us today. Can we get a verification of legal notice? Thank you. Looks like we don't have anything in the consent agenda, so we'll move on to public input before we take on our first item. So if anyone from the public wishes to speak on a topic that is not in today's agenda, you guys are welcome to come up to the podium, state your first and last name, and you'll be given 3 minutes. Again, that's for any item that is not on today's agenda. Can we take a look in the Zoom room as well?
No hands raised.
Okay, no hands in the Zoom room, no hands in the chambers. It'll still be open if you guys wish to come up to the podium and give us any input, public input, before we take on our item at 9:05. So we'll have 4 minutes before we take that item. So we're gonna have a little bit of an awkward silence for 4 minutes. So yeah, so we'll come back at 9:05. All right, welcome back. We will take on our first item. Our item is 6A, our 905 public hearing, consideration of proposed major use permit, PL 25-48, UP 25-03, and CEQA categorical exemption, CE 25-03, for Esther Formula USA Corporation to amend major use permit UP 19-47 to discontinue the permitted commercial cannabis manufacturing and distribution and commence processing, manufacturing, and distribution of dietary supplements at property located at 4615 Work Right Circle in Lakeport, California. The APN is 008-032-51. Staff.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mary Claiborne, Senior Planner. Today for your consideration is a major use permit, PL 25-48, and categorical exemption, CE 2503 for Esther Formula USA Corporation. The applicant is present in chambers and has prepared a brief presentation for the Commission's consideration following staff's presentation. The permit request for major use permit for processing, manufacturing, and distribution of dietary supplements is within the PDC zoning. That's Plan Development Commercial. The parcel size is approximately 4 acres. The project site is located approximately 2.68 miles from the Kelseyville Community Growth Boundary and is located adjacent to the Lamson Field Airport properties. The general plan designation for this site is industrial, and again, the zoning designation is Plan Development Commercial and Design Review and Airport Approach Combining Districts. This is in the Kelseyville area plan area, and it's in Supervisorial District 4. The 4-acre site is located at 4615 Work-Right Circle within unincorporated Lake County, south of the City of Lakeport boundaries. Access is available via Sky Park Drive, with both Work-Right Circle and Sky Park Drive roads being maintained by the County of Lake. The roadway leading to the project parcel is fully paved and equipped with stormwater drainage and sewer systems designed to prevent roadway runoff from impacting surrounding public waterways. All necessary infrastructure is in place, and no additional development or expansion of the site is proposed. The existing land uses and improvements include a 67,243 square foot building with office space and restrooms, a parking lot with 93 spaces, including 4 accessible spaces, a loading dock, a security system, business signage, waste disposal containers, a groundwater well, a septic system, and a 60,000-gallon steel water tank. The proposed project involves establishing a dietary supplement manufacturing business specializing in oral dissolving film, ODF, formulations. The regulations reviewed for compliance include the Lake County General Plan, the Kelseyville Area Plan, and the Lake County Zoning Ordinance. The Lake County General Plan goals and policies reviewed include land use, health, and safety. The existing manufacturing use on the site has received prior approvals. The intended use is expected to remain compatible with the neighboring businesses in the vicinity. Under the existing major use permit UP 1947, approved on April 22nd, 2021, there were 13 full-time employees who were employed at the site. As proposed, the project would create up to an additional 7 jobs for a total of 20 employee positions at this time. The applicant does not propose any new construction at the existing facility as previously explained. The county-maintained access roads to the site do meet the Public Resource Code Section 4290 for emergency road standards for commercial operations to allow adequate access for emergency responders. As an added condition of approval, the site shall be maintained in compliance with Public Resource Code 4291 for defensible space requirements for hazardous vegetation and shall include a minimum of 100 feet of defensible space around the commercial facility. The applicant proposes a manufacturing, processing, and distribution business within the existing facility, which is an allowable use within the PDC zoning and industrial designation. The project is not within a community growth boundary in which the industrial activities would disturb residential districts. Additionally, up to 7 new jobs would be created, resulting in a boost in economic development for Lake County. Oh, can you close that pop up? Thank you. I think we went too far. Okay, there it is. For the proposed manufacturing of dietary supplements, the use is allowed under the Lake County Code Zoning Ordinance Article 15, which allows for the uses permitted in CR, C2, C3, M1, and M2 zoning districts, including manufacturing. The proposed project is located within the existing facility near Lamson Airfield. The applicant does not propose expansion of the footprint of the existing facilities, new construction, or ground disturbing activities. The amendment for major use permit to the existing major use permit UP 1947 is to discontinue the approved use of commercial cannabis manufacturing and distribution to commencements, including the orally dissolvable film. The California Environmental Quality Act project analysis considers that the project is categorically exempt under the California Code of Regulations, Title 14, Division 6, Chapter 3, Article 19, Section 15301, Class 1, Existing Facilities. Class 1 consists of the operation, repair, maintenance, permitting, leasing, licensing, or minor alteration of existing public or private structures, facilities, mechanical equipment, or topographical features involving negligible or no expansion of the existing former use. The project site is located on a previously developed parcel. The building that would be used for this proposal is existing, and the applicant does not propose expanding the footprint of the existing building. The facility was previously used for industrial manufacturing of cannabis, and prior to that, manufacturing of shower doors and enclosures. Pursuant to the California Code of Regulations, Title 14, Division 6, Chapter 3, Section 15300.2, none of the exceptions to the exemptions would apply to the proposed project as identified within staff's report. There was a request for agency review sent to local tribes, and this was on April 17th. We had received 2 comments from local tribes. That was the Hebemetal Pomo of Upper Lake Tribe and also the Yochadihi Winton Nation, who had deferred to correspondence to the Big Valley Tribe. And at this time, we have not received correspondence from Big Valley Tribe. No additional comments were received. A point of interest was received from the agency review from Environmental Health. The agency comment from Environmental Health had requested that a well pump test be conducted. This was submitted to the Community Development Department on August 27, 2025, and was provided to Environmental Health for their review. In discussions with the Environmental Health Director, clarification was provided that Environmental Health does not monitor water use. However, they are concerned with construction of new wells, to which this would not apply. The well is existing. The environmental health department does, however, become involved with projects when food service is proposed to test quality of water at the site. Food service is not being proposed with this project, and Director Weatherby did state that supplements are not under the purview of environmental health. The recommendations for environmental recommendations would be to find that the project is exempt from CEQA under the California Code of Regulations, Title 14, Division 6, Chapter 3, Article 19, Section 15301, Class 1, Existing Facilities, and the major use permit recommendations are to approve the use permit PL 2548 with the proposed conditions of approval and with the findings found in the staff report. And I am available for any questions or commentary. Thank you.
I'll save some of my questions till the end. Yeah, we're ready for the presentation from the applicants. Yeah, you can even pull the mic closer to you, or just start with your first and last name.
Good morning, Commanders. My name is Yoo Jung Kim. I'm the representative of Esther Formula USA. So, thank you for giving the opportunity to present our company and shared our plan of the lake port facility. So in 2022, we decided to come to beautiful Lakeport with one clear mission to create the new vision of establish the next generation manufacturing facility for oral digital film dietary supplement. Developed in the partnership with our parent company, Bio360, based in the South Korea. So these are our facility information. So the Mary, she already explained about that one. So next. So I'm gonna explain what is ODF. So ODF is standard for the oral digital film, a thin edible strips that dissolve quickly in the mouth. The benefit of the ODF is simple to no water and no swallowing and no need any shock hazard. It's convenience and fast absorbed and ideal for children and senior. So since acquiring the facility, we rebuilt from the ground up, spending about a year and a half on construction to meet the FDA, CGMP, HACCP, state and county standard. So we improved the customer-made patent equipment came from the Korea and installed for full production line ready to commercial operation.
Excuse me,
Yes.
Are you saying this construction has already occurred?
The construction already occurred and it was already finished.
Thank you.
Yes. And also, we also invested the advanced Orenco wastewater system to protect the Lake County environment and water. Our strength and the missions. Our strengths came from the ODF expertise with our 6 currently operator who already have the experience and got the technology education from the ODF technology. And then second thing is to collaborate with our parent company, the R&D team. And third one is the trust and quality for our facility. So as we grow up, planning to create up to the 100 local jobs and supporting the production and quality and maintenance and logistics and warehouse. So currently we produced, currently we produced 4 different products. So one is the glutathione and one is the CBD and then ceramide product. So, and then also we have the 3 upcoming product like the saffron, collagen, and melatonin is under the R&D development. So as the Ester Formula USA, we are deeply committed to Lake counties, not just the place to the business, not just long-term, but as the long-term partner in the community development. So we are proud of the part of the Lake County communities, and we remaining dedicated to create the local jobs and ensuring the high quality manufacturing and contributing to public health and sustainability. We are looking forward to growing together with these communities and continue our investment in Lakeport's bright future. Thank you for your time, your support, and your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. If you want to stay up here on the podium for just a quick second, do we have any questions for the applicant before we ask her to sit down and stand up again, back and forth?
I've read some comments from others in the community, from the Audubon Society, and this morning we received a very long comment from another member of the community, and they brought up a couple issues that I'd like to just ask about. So I understand that a pump test has been done.
Yes.
But we don't have any, we're not sure about the water quality? Is that, do we have any tests on the quality of the water being used?
So we planning to do the another training for Orenco wastewater on November 3rd with the, it came from the Orenco Real Company. So they're gonna come to our facility, and then we're gonna planning to do the maintenance team and Orenco specialist. We're gonna work together, and then we will gonna find out what is the water quality.
Okay, great.
At the time.
What about air filtration? Is the air currently filtered that goes out of the building?
Yes, actually, based on our machines, not used as much as like the air part or air. Yes, so we already have the filtration each HEPA, each filter part. With,
I think that go ahead.
yeah, yeah, mate.
Yeah, so for the Orenco system, it is aerated and it is pH dosed.
Would you mind saying your first and last name?
My name is Mark Gardner, and I'm representing Ester Formula USA.
Okay, I would assume that because the prior use was more intense, as I understand it, it would be in place. But because it's been brought up, I felt that it needs to be addressed.
Yeah, so we have a grinding tank and an aeration tank, and it pH doses. So then it goes back through the AX100, and that's that green tank, and that is full of filters. So by the time it goes out to the field, it's almost like drinking water.
Thank you.
That's for the process waste.
Okay.
And then for the water system, we have 2 RO skids. So goes through one, filters, goes through another, filters before it goes into any of the machines.
What's an RO? I'm sorry, I'm ignorant on this topic.
It's basically, there's media in these tanks, and the water goes through filters, then it goes through LV lights,
Okay,
takes all the bacteria out. So
Okay.
by the time it goes to the machines, it's clean.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, if I may. So the California Department of Public Health and the State Water Resources Quality Control Board would be responsible agencies for this project and would require any additional permitting, and that is a condition, it's a general condition that's added as conditions of approval.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions? Do you want to go ahead?
sorry. Yes, I do have a few questions. In regard to the 5-year business plan, I wondered if you could elaborate a little bit on the product itself and also on the expected sales and what the expected sales is based on.
If the one of the applicants would like to.
Hi, my name is Joseph Vaughn. I'm quality manager at Esther Formula USA. And could you just repeat the question one more time for me, please?
I'd like to understand a little bit more about the product itself and also kind of what the expected sales are based on you have a chart in your plan here that projects the sales through 2029, I believe.
Oh, yes. So to explain more about the product, the ODF, the oral dissolving film, is, I'm not sure if you remember, but a while back, if you remember those Listerine strips that you just stuck in your mouth and it melted, basically we made the dietary supplement into those Listerine strip dosage format so that it's easier. It basically melts in your mouth, so there is less choking hazards, easier for, children or seniors that has choking, that reflex choking when swallowing tablets. And that is the dosage form that we are creating the supplements into. And currently, our parent company in Bio360 has been manufacturing and selling in Korea, and it actually reached tremendous sales in Korea, which is why they wanted to expand and establish our facility in Lakeport currently. And the expected sales, currently we have been selling the glutathione strips on TikTok and on Amazon, which is why we currently want to push for the major use permit so we can develop our CBD product and also sell it on e-commerce platforms. And we started selling in June. TikTok orders, we were selling like maybe 6 to 14 cartons daily, but now we reached around like 1 to 200 daily since we started in June. So the expected sales trend in corporate is also including in the previous customers that were buying in Korea, which now was being marketed in the US on TikTok and on Amazon through influencers, and that is how we got the expected trends in the sales.
So your current production is in South Korea?
Our parent company is in South Korea. The 3 current products, the glutathione strips and ceramide, is being manufactured here at our Lakeport facility currently.
Thank you.
So, and I see you're planning to expand to pets as well, so that would make it easier for me to feed
Yes.
medication to my animals.
Oh, yes. Actually, in Bio360, our parent company, they actually kind of paved the way for us. They have already received their veterinary certifications and have been developing it for I believe one of the products that is in development is the joints for senior dogs as well. And since it is an ODF and it's not shoving it down their throats, they actually eat it themselves willingly. So that's one of the reasons we are planning on expanding to that scope as well.
Okay. And then I have a question also in regard to the plan. Hold on just a sec. One of the statements in the plan is that FDA is more lenient on dietary ingredients and dosage amounts, and that currently the plan is to leverage the lenient FDA regulations. So I just wonder how that plays into this, and when, and maybe this is a question for staff, when does FDA get involved, and what does that mean to the business?
So I do believe that may have been mistranslated. We basically, in Korea, ODF is considered a food, functional food. So when we had to transition to the US, ODF actually falls under dietary supplements, which is definitely different regulations, and we had to gear it to match the FDA CGMP, which is why we were really happy with our facility here, because we could actually build it from the ground up to meet the GMP regulations instead of trying to, adjust whatever was existing. And now funnily enough, the difference that which actually helped us here is in Korea, anything and everything you do, it has to be firstly submitted to the governing body, and then everything had to be listed up before they could actually manufacture it. Whereas here in the FDA, as long as we meet the regulatory status of the identification of raw materials and all of that, that is something that we do, and is honestly a lot less complicated than the Korean system, where we literally have to submit all the documents that we have to use, whereas here we can actually have it documented on our record on site, and we provide it when it's requested. That is honestly the two biggest regulatory differences that I've experienced while working with Bio360 and getting their training from the parent company.
Okay. Thank you for that. So, and then the other question that I had, which I believe my fellow commissioner also had commented on in the presentation, is the construction and exactly where, and again, this year may be for county staff, but on the back of the plan, the last page, as it lists dates that actually that production, the official production to begin April 2024. Has production started, and how does this relate to what we're doing here today with the construction timeline here that states and was identified during the presentation that construction's already occurred towards this project? How does this all fit together?
So the construction, we actually had to start from the very bottom, because of the equipment, we had to rip up the concrete, include I think they called it the base footing to support the heavier machinery. And as I'm not sure if you remember, but our machinery is quite large, so we had to install the machine before we built up the walls and doors, because it would be difficult to install it at that place. So our construction had multiple phases where we did the foundation, and then we had to set up the walls, and then we actually have 4 production lines which are split up into 2 sides. So we did the first construction here, installed the equipment, and then did our IQOQ. And during that time, the second half of our facility was being built. And as you can imagine, just because it worked out perfectly in the Korean facility due to the differences in environment, we were quote unquote producing, but that was actually part of like the IQ and making sure the equipment was working. And then the formulations that is being utilized in Korea is actually, it works for our product here in the Lakeport facility. So a lot of the products that, quote unquote, the production that was done in April was mostly testing, PQ, R&D, trying to find this raw material suppliers that we can source locally instead of shipping it from Korea because of all the tariffs and all of that stuff. So it was a pretty long-term process of getting to where we were, because we couldn't just open the doors and hire. And during that time, we were training our local operators that we hired locally to become the leads for the positions that they're currently in.
Commissioners, if I may. Let's see. I do have a text message that's coming in from Director Turner. And with that, she states that she used director's discretionary authority to allow non-environmental impact use. Now that they've decided to vacate the cannabis permit, we're now going through this process. Just for clarification.
Thank you. I just have some comments, for the presentation and the staff report. I think it's a great technology to have. I think there's a lot of benefits, and I like that link that you put between the Listerine, so that we also, we've all seen it, we know what it is. And being able to have like some kind of CBD in there, I think it'll help, those populations that need it. There's people that are currently using, I think it's like oil, like in drops, or, it just makes it more complicated, especially if they already have some kind of like illness that doesn't allow them to, to like put it in their food or put it in, directly under the tongue or whatever method they're using. So I think this, it's a great idea. grateful that you guys are doing it here in Lake County. It's just, and the location of the facility as well. I think that if it was somewhere maybe closer to town, there'd be more discussion about it. But I think it's in a good area near the airfield. It's kind of separated from, like places where people can just be walking in the front, like sidewalks or stuff like that. So overall, I think it's, I'm looking towards just kind of seeing it all happen and see what benefits it comes to the community from you guys' investment and dedication to this project.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a couple comments and questions. First of all, I'd like to commend you for taking this on. I've lived in another country and tried to speak another language, and I know it can be very difficult. Reading the documents, I did struggle a little bit, and so I have a couple questions. What is a purchase experience rate? Do you remember that in the document? It refers to a purchase experience rate.
I do believe, because it may have been machine translated, it may be talking about the sales rate.
Okay.
We were actually kind of surprised too, because when we first listed it on Amazon or in TikTok, it wasn't like a full blast, like a hard launch, right? It was a soft launch, and fortunately, the consumer base in Korea also recognized it and was also helping it, and which is why our TikTok orders, we were actually surprised. It went from 6 to like 14 orders, and on Mondays, we've currently had like 300-400 orders when we were like really lucky. So on the Monday orders, and I believe that is the sales rate, which is why they're pretty confident with the other product lines that we're developing.
Okay, and also, now I have a better understanding what glutathione ODFs are.
The glutathione is.
And then this isn't really important, but a W with a slash through it?
Oh, that's the money sign for Korean won, the
Okay,
symbol.
thank you.
Okay.
I suspected as much. And then I saw in your plan, the building plan, that you have a room labeled Korean maintenance. What is that?
Oh, they actually came because our equipment was custom made in Korea and designed in Korea. Interestingly enough, the engineer that designed it actually won like the Seoul Korea Engineering Award for when they developed their machine. It's specially custom made, so we actually had to learn how to, our guys had to learn how to maintain it here because it was a custom machine. And we went through, during the IQOQ, went through the diagram, the blueprint to make sure all the fuses. So while they were here, they were training our maintenance team to be sure that we are properly maintaining it.
Thank you. I have no other questions.
Any further questions?
Yes, I do. And I think these here relate more to, for county staff. But, on page 3, it says the estimated gallons of water to be projected for the processing. So I was just wondering how that relates to, it says 67,243 gallons of water is projected to be utilized annually for processing. And I'm just wondering how that relates to the previous use of at this site.
So with that figure is based on 15 gallons of use per day per employee, and that was within the engineer's report, which is an attachment to the staff report.
Right.
And it's based on the days of operation through the calendar year. This is a reduction in water use from the previous uses.
Thank you. And then I also had a question and how this relates to the conditions of approval as well. But within the staff report on page 4, it talks about operating hours, and they seem to differ a little bit, or it's not apples to apples in the conditions of approval, where employees, the expected normal operating hours are Monday through Friday from 7 to 7 p.m., yet in the conditions of approval, it speaks of primarily more specific to transportation and traffic hours, and deliveries are Monday through Saturday, 9 to 7 p.m., and Sundays 12 to 5.
Yes, so with that, the operational hours are listed in the staff report, and the conditions limit delivery hours, so they cannot exceed those times.
Okay. And then I also just had a question on it. States employees will be encouraged to carpool, which is always a good idea. But I was just wondering how that relates also to this project, given that, you know, again, on this site, that originally I believe there was over 100 employees when a major use permit was first issued for this site, and then for the last use it was 13, and now we're looking at a projection of 20. But just why that was thrown in there.
Sure. So with that, that was actually part of the application itself. So staff included that within the report.
Okay.
But there are 93 spaces that are existing with 4 ADA spaces, so there is sufficient
Plenty of parking.
Yes. And there is additionally off-street parking, but I do not believe that would be necessary considering
For 20.
there are a proposed at this time 20. Yes.
Right. Okay.
While Monica's looking
Go
through
right
her
ahead.
papers, I just had one comment. From a planning perspective, I really like to see this kind of redevelopment of existing structures. The parking spaces, we're not paving any ag land to put this in. So this is the kind of project I think we should be encouraging in this county.
Yeah, I think that's a great comment, because I was thinking like what other business could use that space, you know, knowing that the airfield is there, the noise, really limits the you know, the availability for businesses to want to be next to an airfield. So I think them taking this spot and making it to their facility is, you know, helping out so we don't have empty buildings and then just rebuilding them to fit their needs. So yeah.
Yes, I would agree. Reutilizing existing structures is fantastic. And with that, I have no other questions.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up public input for this item. Members of the public and people on Zoom, you guys are welcome to raise your hand so that we know you have a comment, and we're going to start with people here in chambers. So please come up to the podium, state your first and last name, and you'll be given 3 minutes. And I think there's a sign-in sheet where you can also sign your name. Thank you.
Nancy Rosica, Arrow Acres. Arrow Acres, there's a lot of history here. I came from an airline management background and suddenly met the man of my dreams in Lake County who owned an engineering firm. And I realized we need economic development. And my thought was to have an industrial park where someone could fly their private airplane in, hangar it in a 2-story building with their offices above. And the first company I thought of was with Long's Drugs, where the regional manager visited Long's Drug Stores from Monterey all the way to Alaska. And this project was owned by some people who dreamed of being able to taxi their airplane to their home. This was going to be a home development. So anyway, Arrow Acres was purchased by a group of people here. It's still a corporation to this day. Make a long story short, Caltrans said, hey, we'll put a stoplight at Highland Springs Road and Highway 29, right up right. The federal government, the state, and the county got together the money to put the roadway in. We sold the parcel to Work Right Products Company that made beautiful shower doors. It was the first frameless shower door company in all Hyatt hotels, and they were being manufactured in those packing sheds in Finley. And we sold them the property for $1.50. I'm very disappointed that years later, it's the only building out there. Yes, I agree with you. Let's get with it. Let's get water and sewer developed out there. We had one area that would perk. They've put in a brand new sewer, state-of-the-art sewer system. I wish the engineer could have been here today, but he had another commitment. We cannot invite people to come to this country and let's get manufacturing back home unless we got a place to put them. You can have all the economic development people in the world on the staff, but we've got something right here. And there's another area developed in Clear Lake, but they've never gone any further. So I hope this will be, once again, the start of something good. And I've gotten to know these people. Gina didn't tell you, but her parents sent her to this country to get her education at Boston University in pharmacy. So they bring this wonderful talent to us, and bringing the state-of-the-art manufacturing here. I'm so glad I don't have to convince our hunting dog to eat her pill. It'll be able to just suck it on her tongue. Thank you. And so we own the property to the north, the east, and the south airwakers, and we're here to support this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comment. Anyone else in chambers wishes to come up to the podium? I don't see any hands here in the chamber, so we'll take some hands that we have on Zoom. All right.
Marco? Okay, Marco, who's allowed to talk?
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Margot Kambara. I sent the commission an email this morning on my comment, and I'm summarizing that email now. With respect, I urge your commission to deny this permit and its CEQA exemption. The exemption does not apply. Keeping the same footprint as the former facility does not alone equate to a CEQA categorical exemption. Other factors negate the exemption, such as change of use, change of owner, vacancy of the facility. There are also community concerns, health and safety, such as wildfire and water supply, traffic impact, land use and conflict with the Kelseyville Area Plan and Lamson Field Master Plan. If you feel more time is needed to review the issues raised, please consider continuing this agenda item. Repurposing existing structures is great and it's smart development, but the violation of CEQA is serious. Without correction of the CEQA exemption error, state level review or judicial remedies may be required. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Do we have another hand in the Zoom room?
No. Zero.
No hands? All right, I'm going to do one last look here in chambers if anybody wishes to speak before we close public input. All right, so public comment is closed. We'll bring it back to the commission for further discussion or action.
I wanted to thank Margot for her comment. My feeling is that staff is more educated on this subject than I am. So I'm going to go with their analysis of whether it complies with CEQA or not.
Yes, thank you to Ms. Kambara for her comments and issues raised. I did want to formally respond to the green sheets received. We do look at a lot of those issues that she did raise. She is correct in that an expansion of use or not expansion of use is not the only criteria. We did look at the project individually. We did not rely on the previous analysis for the use permit, except for the fact that it would be less intensive as far as traffic, water, things of that nature. But we did follow the CEQA regulations in 15060, that's preliminary review. There's also the notice of exemption section in 15062. And then further, an initial study is required per 15063 if it's determined that there may be a potential impact to any of those resources in that checklist. So staff did do a comprehensive review and determined that the exemption could be met in this case. Based on the information in the staff report, Ms. Claiborne noted some of those items as well, as far as using the existing building that has been used for manufacturing since 1990 something, and that it would be less intensive. But happy to answer any other questions or anything related to any of those individual points that she raised.
Thank you.
I just have a comment. Ms. Kambara, at the conclusion of her green sheet, says that she's concerned the county's position reflects a broader pattern of misapplication of CEQA exemptions. I think this perhaps should be addressed, but not today at this time. I think that is something that maybe the department can take on down the road and involve her in the process. I think that would be a healthy process.
Are there any more questions in the meantime? Okay.
I'm ready to make a motion.
Commissioners, if I may, before any action is taken, just because I know there's only 3 of you and typically there's 5, just a reminder that any action or any approval will require the same majority as if there is 5, which is effectively all 3 of you. And so any denial by one of you is effectively a denial as well. Just a reminder.
And a quick question on that, because there was a comment that I read someplace that if that was to happen, does that go to an automatic appeal to the Board of Supervisors, or does the applicant or the public have to file?
I believe that is correct. It will go to an automatic appeal
Oh,
to
okay.
the Board of Supervisors.
Okay, great, thank you. I was just curious.
Thank you. I find that we find that this project is exempt from CEQA under California Code of Regulations, Title 14, Division 6, Chapter 3, Article 19, Section 15301, Class 1, existing facilities.
I'm not sure where you're reading from.
I think it's at the very end of the.
Yeah, I'm suggesting that we find that.
I think that's staff's recommendations to the planning commission, but
Okay,
are-
so
Right.
are in the back.
I'll just read the motion that is suggested on the last page then. I hereby determine the proposed processing, manufacturing, distribution business is categorically exempt CE 2503 from CEQA under the California Code of Regulations, Title 14, Division 6, Chapter 3. Article 19, Section 15301, Class 1, existing facilities, based on the findings in the staff report dated October 23rd, 2025.
I second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None, and the motion passes.
I hereby approve the major use permit PL 2548, UP 2503, Ester Formula USA Corporation for manufacturing business on property located at 4615 Workwright Circle, Lakeport, California, 95453, APN 008-032-51, based on the findings and subject to the conditions in the staff report dated October 23, 2025.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None, and the motion passes. Note, the applicant or any interested person is reminded that the zoning ordinance provides for a 7-day calendar day appeal period. If there is a disagreement with the planning commission, an appeal to the Board of Supervisors may be filed. The appropriate forms and applicable fee must be submitted prior to 5 p.m. on or before the 7th calendar day following the Commission's final determination. So, thank you. All right. I believe there's no non-timed items. Department update. I'm assuming we don't have one.
Not at this time.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, I think we.
I'm unmuted. This is Mireya Turner, just calling in from Philadelphia. Thank you so much for taking the time to have this meeting today. I have no departmental updates.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so that leaves us with adjournment. So I adjourn the meeting at 9:55. Thank you. Now time to go to another meeting.